Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Conversation of Our Generation. This is me, Nick Jamel, and I'm just here to get the dialogue going and create a forum of discussion for people who really want to talk about ideas that, are on the tip of their tongue, the things that they don't want to say, things that are on their mind, or things they don't understand, whatever it is, from politics to philosophy to the latest song that I heard that I liked to movie to anything that really catches my eye that comes up in my life. That's what I want to talk about, and so um, that's what this is about. And so today I'm going to talk about a song that I heard again recently. I've known this song for a while, but I just heard it and I listened to it and it just gave me the chills again. Um, and so I'm going to put links and everything to it. The song is Ragged Old Flag by Johnny Cash, and that'll be the title of the episode and everything, so you'll see that. But I think it's just a beautiful song, and I think it's just really honest and really fair, and it's not even like a political thing. If you really look at it, he's just saying, and we'll get into it, but it's not that political, and I think it's really beautifully done when you can make a song about the flag and about America and you don't alienate one of the sides, and you might have a line that one of the sides is a little bit mad about or whatever, but that's what happens. So I'm going to kind of go through some of the lyrics on it and everything, and I'll put a link to the lyrics and I'll put a link to a performance of it. But I think just the whole gist of the song is really cool because to me it's about the national identity of America that's being protected. It's not about the government, it's not about anything. It's about you, me, and our communities and everything. Sorry. It's the life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. It's the American ideal that's being protected, that he talks about, and that's what's symbolized by the flag here. That's what's tattered and it's been through hell and back, and it still flies above the courthouse because it's not, the flag isn't a symbol of the rednecks who put it on the back of their truck, or the college students who burn it because they're pissed about something, whatever it is today that they're pissed about. The flag is a symbol of our, I would even say more than our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence. It's a symbol of we are our own thing, not because of anything else other than we're here as a nation to be the best we can be. And that's what America's about. We're here to be free. We're here to be the best. We're here to fight for what we believe in, whatever, and you can prove us wrong, but, we're here to fight for, our sake. And so that's what I think is so beautiful about it, is that's what he kind of goes into. And so he starts it off by saying that he walked, through a county courthouse square. There's an old man sitting there, and he says, he's like, why, he's like, your flag, or your old courthouse is run down. He's like, yeah, that's all right. He says, your flagpole leans, and it's a ragged old flag, and the guy's, ready to tell him the story about it, and then he starts going, and the guy tells him, I'm proud of this flag because, and he goes on to talk about how it was there when Washington crossed the Delaware, how it got powder burned when Francis Scott Key was writing Say Can You See, got a bad rip in New Orleans with Packingham and Jackson tugging at the seams, and he goes through those battles, and they're just so like real, because they're things that America had to endure to keep the dream, the American dream alive. And I don't want to go too much into all that, but it's like the national identity is freedom, and it's about all this stuff that we fight for, and you know, we fought wars for this. So when people, you know, criticize it, it's like, yeah, that's fair, but we've defended this, and it's been defended multiple times, to have this national identity of freedom and of liberty and all this stuff that's so beautiful that we have, that no one else has in the same, no one else has it. No one else has what America has. And that's what I think he gets here. And then he talks about, you know, World War I, World War II, and I think the funniest one is when he does kind of, you know, those were definitely, you know, and I think all those other wars that he mentions up to this point are the ones that we look at that are, you know, wars that were fought correctly and that, you know, were legitimate wars. And then he says she was in Korea and Vietnam. She went where she was sent by Uncle Sam. And to me, that, you know, is his criticism of, you know, we just fought those to fight those, really. I mean, more than anything, the interventionist sort of thing, he kind of does poke at that and say, you know, she was there, it was there, you know, and she was sent by Uncle Sam. I think, to me, I think if you invoke Uncle Sam, it's kind of the, you know, we're no longer fighting to preserve what we have, we're fighting, you know, for the sake of the government. And that, to me, is, he kind of pokes at it a little bit, and I think that's fair. I do. I think it's a good point. And so, you know, and he says at the end, you know, later on, in her own good land here, she's been abused, she's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. So I think that's really cool, where he talks about, you know, and it's not just, because it's not just the people who are burning the flag, just, you know, they're not just burning the flag, they're standing against everything that's gotten us here, because they're upset about something, right? So while people might have like legitimate, like, not might, while people have had very legitimate complaints about the way the country's going, right? It's the system that we've built that's allowed us to make it better, you know, and it doesn't happen quickly always, and it's not ever really easy, but it does happen if it's right. So if it's the right thing to do, we get there. You know, it took us a while to break down slavery because we had to dismantle it. It wasn't like it was something that, you know, you could just undo, because, you know, we saw how hard it was to preserve the Union and get rid of it at the same time. We fought you know, one of our most brutal wars. I mean, I would say it's probably the most brutal war. That one, or, you know, yeah, probably the Civil War is our most brutal war that we've had to go through as a country. And, you know, women's rights to vote, that took a while, longer than it should, obviously, but it was done the right way, and it's cemented now forever in what we have. You know, so in the 60s, when the hippies want to tear down the whole thing, man, and all this, it's like, well, yeah, I'm not happy about the government either, but I also don't want to just tear it down, because I know I'm not a magician, and I know that I can't just pull the, you know, the tablecloth off the table while it's set and leave everything in place, except it's, you know, and the tablecloth isn't there anymore. You know, I know that when I do that, I'm going to destroy everything on the table, and that's not what you want to do. So that's what people have to realize, is you can't just tear it down, because it's taken so long to build what we have, and it's so important to preserve what we have, because once you tear down the thing that has abolished slavery, the thing that has given women the right to vote, that's, you know, given us the 14th Amendment, the equal opportunity under the law, the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights, the thing that's given us all those things, once you tear that down, you lose those things as well. You know, so that's what you have to remember when you are mad about an injustice, and there are injustices that still occur. I'm not an idiot, but when you tear down the system because of one injustice, you lose all the rest of the beautiful things that we do have. And while America is far from perfect, it is the best thing we have so far. So that is that. And then he goes on, and I think also when he goes at the government, scandalized throughout the land. I'm not sure when this song was written, but I would say, you know, you've obviously seen that, and it still happens. And I think he says after that, though, and she's getting threadbare and wearing thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. And so, while, you know, it's like things look bad, we've been through worse than what we're going through right now. You know, we're still not in a civil war. I'm still not killing my cousins who live south, you know, 3 states south of me, right? So we're not there. You know, we're not living in fear of, well, I guess we are kind of worried about a nuclear attack right now from North Korea. Sorry, but I shouldn't have like smiled at that. But you know, we're not living in a constant fear of, you know, thermonuclear like World War breakout like we were for the whole Cold War. It's not to the level that it was, at least. Because yeah. So there's that, you know, we're not in those positions anymore. You know, it looks bad, and there's a lot of strife going on right now. There's a lot of crazy things going on, and I'm not, you know, and I don't think anyone can be ignorant to that fact right now because it's so in our face. But it still has our nation, you know, the things that we believe in are stronger, and they supersede us. Liberty and freedom and the pursuit of happiness and all that stuff. That stuff goes above our heads, and it'll be here long after we're dead, because it was here before us, and it'll be here later on when we die. It'll be here for our grandkids, as long as we fight to preserve that. And that's where I think we need to focus our efforts. And you know, so he says, so we raise her up every morning, take her down every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her upright. On second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag. And I think it's like, he's like, we treat it right. He's like, here in this town, we treat it right. And I think that's something that Americans, you know, need to remember is, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, we gotta treat our, you know, our society right, and remember what it is, and remember the rules of decency, and remember where we come from, and remember these things, and you know, fold it up right and put it, you know, back at night, and take it out in the morning, and do it all again, you know, and do these things right, and have the decency, but also still have the ability to, you know, to create a little bit of friction and grow. And I think if you have a little bit of decency along with that, that's when we really that's when America thrives. So if you haven't heard this song, you need to go watch the video that I'm putting in the link here, and I'm gonna sign off. It's beautifully done. Johnny Cash is an awesome dude. He's incredible, man, and we'll probably end up doing more of his songs on this because I love his music. And so we're gonna sign off for now. Thank you for joining me today for the conversation of our generation. I'd like to get this dialogue going, create this as a forum, and for everybody to come in and get your ideas out there, test the water with it, and challenge my ideas. So if you like what I'm doing, share my video on Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to be putting it out there, so if you see it, repost it. Help me out with that. Like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's get the conversation going. Alright guys, have a good one.